Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Amazing setting. How you doing?
Yeah. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, man.
I'm
I'm
glad you
doing,
took the time.
huh?
I'm glad you took the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. You too. I'm really happy with what you're doing.
Yeah. All right, so let's start, bro. Introduction first. I think it's deserved. That has to.
My name is Father Akki. Um, my name is Adan Alberto Trujillo. Um, and I am an artist. I am a clothing designer. I am a painter, constructor of imagination. But yeah, I make art. I mean, that's how I look at it. Well,
And how long have you been making art for?
I've been making art since I was like, like 14, 15, but not this. When I first started, it was just like noodles of my friends in class. Um, just like making them look like potatoes and stuff, just joking and laughs and
Hmm.
humor.
What attracted you of art, bro? Like, if you would have
Um,
an answer to that, like in
at
general, from
first,
specs
I
to.
mean, visual art, I definitely could say was my first inspiration. Was kind of like 2014 using Tumblr. I would just follow a bunch of blogs that would like repost film stills, and whether it was like people on road trips or like drugs or freaking like Pulp Fiction still frames and stuff. Like I always like how it looked, like how they captured a moment. And I think that's what lured me in with art essentially in itself. Is like expressing a moment of how you feel or because that's kind of what I felt about it when I thought about drawing in school a lot. I would just be drawing in the moment of just how it felt, and I wanted just to laugh or make a homie laugh or something. But when I turned 16, that's when my art kind of went into the direction off of new inspiration from Basquiat, Jean-Michel Basquiat,
Mhm.
and after I got my first artist inspiration, that's when like my world definitely did open up to what is my prominent style or how people associate my textures maybe, or just me as an artist in general now.
And what made you feel that you could express your feelings, or like what inspired you to express your feelings on canvas or on hoodies and when you were.
Well, I think essentially the initial action of just like what inspired me to pick up the paintbrush itself, I think definitely did. That's just me, wanting to make the art, express myself. But when it comes to like how I feel about translating emotions to my art, I think what makes me feel the permission to do that is just paying homage, or I guess a self-reflection of responsibility towards, if I see thriving and creativity around me in my generation, like my age, people my age, how you see even down to like Tyler the Creator, I'm bear witnessing superstars in the making, man. People really changing their life like through music and stuff, through art, and I'm not doing that. You get me? I mean, in the span of like, I'm 20 now, but in the span of like 2 or 3 years, I did do some good accomplishments that have made me feel like I have solidified myself
Mhm.
in my own artistry as a fashion designer, whether it's runway shows or doing photo shoots that are styled and working with people. You get me?
That your clothes reach people, bro, is because they have so much meaning and symbolism behind them.
I think essentially when it's broken down into the analysis of my art, then yeah, you could center it on mythology, this and that. I don't think the first introduction when someone witnesses my art is the thought of mythology. You get me? Like
No.
I don't think that in the sense of if 20,000 people are seeing my art, I don't think all 20,000 agree that it reminds them of mythology.
They
I just be forgetting about, like, since I'm kind of like high right now, I just be forgetting about that I be doing that. I don't know. It's kind of just the motion of a flow as well, dude. Like, it's kind of fucking like I don't feel like I'm intentionally writing things on purpose to be at a certain depth. It just
Okay.
feels very like honest when I'm able to write on something, because I can. It's like having a diary where you're basically just writing stuff that you're not gonna tell everyone, like from the there's a reason you're writing it personally, meant for you and this and that. And I mean, someone can ask to hear it, and you'll tell them and stuff like that, if you feel comfortable. But for me, like my clothing and my art and stuff, the mythology, I use mythology as well, but it's all just the motion of the symbolism of what is I'm doing, and that's just being an artist and like painting and
Right.
writing down my thoughts. You get me? Like if I'm writing stuff down on the hoodie, there's no difference of me writing that down than from a diary or from my own phone notepad. You get me?
You've been making music too, and tell us a little bit about that.
Like music for me is just a very expressive thing,
Mhm.
and my emotions at the certain intervals of when I'm feeling them, whether it's the most positive or kind of feeling down or frustrated, when I'm able to express it through music, it's not all the time a planned thing. It's kind of just
Mhm.
like a shooting star of a moment where I express it. So I don't look at it as a very thing, like a very tangible thing for me to make profit off of or show it off a lot and do shows immediately because it's still in its own hibernation stasis.
What does it mean for you to have a solid team around you? And like, if you would have to get advice, because obviously this video hopefully will reach, people that are want to be in your shoes and like,
Do it with people that you love and
yeah.
love you, because that's kind of the initial seeding thing where it's like when you're around people that support your vision, but not just support in kind of the enthusiasm spectrum, no, but collective, everyone like kind of pushed each other in a way that helped everyone evolve in a whole, but equally individually as well. But it's kind of funny to say it as deep as that when it's just saying finding a team. I think the team finds you, as well as I think everyone already knows who is really there for them. And if there's someone that's not, then that involves you getting out of your fucking comfort zone and going out in the world and maybe going to a different city or doing some shit like that. You get me? Like, or just becoming your own entrepreneur yourself, which is perfectly manageable. There's
Where do you see yourself or your art? If you had to like have vision or goals.
to probably in the next 6 months. I really just want to accomplish like feeling like I can go on road trips and carry canvases in the back. And well as when I think about the future, I mean in the next year or two, I definitely want to expand myself as a designer when it just comes to the heights that I reach with the clothing that I make. I genuinely like how it looks right now. Like I genuinely enjoy how the clothing comes out as like I like the griminess that I feel is. I like the dirtiness. I like the colors everywhere. I like the layers. I like the writing. So I definitely do want to start my own self career when it comes to me wanting to put myself into the industries of fashion and art, and really add my spice to it and really add my flavor towards the whole mix of the streetwear culture and the fashion culture for my generations and stuff like that.
Do you see yourself painting on clothes your whole life? Because now you're generating so much content. So, and that's like, do you see yourself
Yeah.
kind of
I,
being on?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'll say no. I definitely would say no. I'm creating in my means right now while still reaching forwards towards the idea of a more wider and explorative world, but I'm also still like, I'm creating at my pace right now. You feel me? So in the future, I hope that events that I can trigger myself within my art, creating stuff, releasing stuff to the people, doing new photo shoots, could branch me out more into like, I mean, I want to make cartoons. You feel me? Like I want to make like toys, but with clothing. I want to make printed stuff too. But genuinely, I like being an artist when it comes to just painting on the clothes. It feels real sacred when I'm working on it. Details that I know where they should go. Like the splatters right here. Like it feels really nice to me.
But do you? So now that we're speaking about the future, do you see yourself moving out of the country, going
Yeah.
elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I imagine that for myself, to be honest with you. I imagine myself moving to London. I would love to move to London, somewhere in Europe. I
Mm-hmm.
would say London just because, I mean, I don't really know much about Europe, but London seems pretty fucking cool,
Mm-hmm.
as well as everyone speaks English there. So I think that I would, love to travel out of the country to do that. But I would genuinely feel cooler about I mean finding a customer because I spray painted FatherAkki.com on the wall
Mm-hmm.
than a customer seeing on an Instagram page.
Dude, if you have any things that you think would be interesting to share to your fans, bro, to the people that follow you and watch you.
But to my fans, genuinely, I would like to say that it's amazing so far what's been happening around my career. and myself, with you guys moving me on towards this whole discovery of being an artist, because that's what's really like, it feels breathtaking sometimes and remarkable knowing that there's such an amount of people. And 27,000 followers, it's a fuck ton, it's a lot to me. I have some people that have been following me since I had 1,000 followers, and it really blows my mind to know the connections that are made through people that I've never even fucking met. And then coming from a small town, which I come from in Desert Hot Springs, California, Coachella Valley, it's it was strange growing up from there and having such a small, you know, town or live, and then using the internet, and then it expanding a whole entire world of meeting people, creating with people, interacting, and even to an extent becoming friends with people that I becoming friends with people before I even meet them,
Mm,
which is a very strange thing, but it's a very beautiful thing that I hold a lot of abundance towards, and how I feel like the world is becoming, or what is the world. And it seems like a loving one. It seems like everyone has the ability to help people out, and I am blessed beyond to have as much followers as I do that are genuinely fucking helping me expand myself. Like, I be getting some messages sometimes, man, that like people just be telling me how really inspired them. And it's crazy because sometimes I'll just be thinking, either I'm high, I'm feeling some type of way, and I'm just thinking, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna write something on my story, and I'm gonna write something that would be something I rap about, or I fucking like write poetry about, and then I'll just post it. And like maybe a couple thousand of people will see it, but like a couple of them will hit me up and be like, yo, that shit actually affected me, and that should really
mhm,
help me understand something, or like, it sounds like you've been through what I've been through. Like, it's good to know someone else is walking that type of thing. And that really makes me happy too, because then it's like, it feels emotional, and to feel emotional to someone that I've never met, that's just kind of weird. It's kind of a weird psyche thing, but I fuck with it just because it's love.
I think that's the closest you can get to like real expression and like that collecting that experience and like making it something that's real.
Yeah.
Me to a last question, if you still are down for it. Um, what does it mean to be an artist, bro? Like for you, like on.
I I think what it means to be an artist, it involves you being down to basically involve yourself in something. And that's kind of the thing with being an artist. Is the same thing. If you want to go graffiti, like, just pick up the can and go do it. Like, you
Mhm.
get me? You want to paint on your pants, just pick up the pants and do it. Just involved about doing it. And our generation is a very lively generation with the whole DIY, do it yourself things and stuff like that. And I think it's becoming a very big market now. And it's very fucking remarkable to think about kind of the way that you would randomly pick up a pen or a crayon and draw all over your clothes, or draw all over your mom's wall when you were little. And now doing that same thing can make you money, because we like, our generation really loves art, the abstract of the fastness of it, whether it looks like, feels like a childlike drawing, like.
And the way that you can reach people as well, bro. Like that, the new methods of exposing what you do to people that are interested, it just allows you to generally just do it. Like as you say, it's like there's not really like you don't need big curators or big galleries or big people to kind of create, a fan base or a.
And that's what's really cool too, because I mean, that's just the really positive spectrum of social media, where it's like you actually don't need to fucking go searching for a gallery connection, or believe that you have to move out of your small city to go to the city where everything is now possible. Like, the internet actually is a place where you could be living in your same small town and start making money over selling your art online, getting orders and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy, man. Like, it is really crazy.